All right, let me show you a clear chart. So this week, we are going to first start with BTC, right? We are going to first start with BTC. BTC is like, it made me really, really happy because it played out to the T, to the T, right? Remember when last week, first of all, let's first go over where we were last week, right? So last week we were around here. Price was around this area. And then we were watching for BTC because the week before that, price hit this TP over here. Price hit this TP over here, so it was pulling back. So we're watching for it to come down. It came down here, so we're watching for what it was going to do because there was a lot of consolidation and exhaustions over here. So I remember, because I don't really actively trade BTC. I just like go over the analysis, right? So I put this bars pattern here and I said, I'm watching for BTC to drop down to that zone where it is right now. And then we'll wait for what happens next. But first, make sure it doesn't like come up here to do like a double top, or let's watch how, like, just watch out for the pullback, right? And it came right to this supply zone here that it created and dropped to that zone. I think this happened yesterday or so. So the first move was a buy, the next was consolidation, then drop, and that was exactly what it did. And it made me so happy when I saw it. And this is weird because a lot of people are actually sad that BTC is falling. So my apologies. I do, as a crypto investor, I do like suggest that you take a deep breath, just hold on, right? Hold, don't sell your coins in panic. Although like I still see like it going down if we push further. But just hold your coins. Just hold your coins. Don't sell them. Find things to do. Trade Forex. Trade Forex. And, I don't really trade BTC. I invest in it long term. And I'm not actually selling the coins that I've invested in for a long time. There are some that I'm waiting to buy at a lower price, but like it's long-term investing. But if you really want to day trade it, that's the plan that I'm giving out. That's the strategy. No, not a strategy. That's the analysis that I'm doing every Saturday. Like the price, the next move for the week, right? And this actually played out like so amazing. That's nice. That's how many pips. First of all, if you took that by, that's like 200, like over 200 pips. BTC counts like this, but it's over 225 pips. Then if you took the sell down, let's say it's okay here, that's like over 300 pips. So 500 pips on BTC alone. Let's say you didn't even catch it, you cut it late, 200 pips. As that's on a standard lot, 200 pips is $2,000. On a 0.1, that's $200 in 1 week. You could stop sleeping on these calls. Tell your friends to tell their friends to tell their friends to join in. So next, we'll be looking at gold. So we all know what's happening with the Russia and Ukraine and everything. I went over some part of it last week. Don't let my charts confuse you. I don't really delete most things. It's not like I'm using most things now. It's just some trades that I've taken in the past or things that I was analyzing or checking out. So I don't really delete it because it's like a scrapbook where you want to go back and see what you did. As a trader, it's very important that you have like record. Apart from my chart records, I have like my journal, you know, and I also have screenshots of my past trades of their before and after, just like give confidence for you to be able to take your other trades. Like if I could do that, I can do like the rest. So that's why my chat is like this. So I was saying like Russia and Ukraine, they are still at it, and actually it's actually more heightened. Can you not annotate? Okay, let me disable my annotation. That's quite rude. Did you want to say something? Do you have a question? Do you have a question? How do I clear this? Okay. Does anyone have a question, like person that did that? Yeah? If you have a question, you can ask your question and you can type it in the chat.
Sorry, that's actually a mistake.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Sorry about that.
No problem. So Russia and Ukraine, you know, they are like in a thing where like war could break out, which is very sad. If that happens, in fact, you know, is getting closer and closer because they've actually started shelling. And I researched what shelling was. It means like they started like throwing bombs, little just like warning bombs and things like that. And 2 Ukrainian soldiers have died. But Russia keeps saying like they are not invading, but there are like certain troops all around. They've said some of their troops have gone home and all of that. So US, because Ukraine is part of their NATO, you know, they are in the same, they are members of the same NATO. US is like coming in, bringing their soldiers to help Ukraine. So they are warning Russia also that they are going to give them sanctions. So which is totally like sad for the world, because we really don't need an extra war right now with the way things are going. We already had enough issues with the pandemic and everything. So that's sad. But for the markets, it's going to cause a lot of volatility. That's why we see gold rising. I did say last week, okay, so let me delete this fib. It has done its work. I delete some minor structural fibs sometimes. But last week, okay, this was the vast pattern that was here. So if for those that were here last week, I said you know, the reason we had the first spike on Friday, because gold is a safe haven. So investors are looking to like put their monies out of different assets that they are investing in, because a war is causing like uncertainty and fear. So they put money inside things like gold and safe haven assets and bonds and all of those things. And gold spiked up to this point, and we were around here last week for the analysis, and you know, I checked and said this is also a weekly area. This yellow dotted lines here, it's a weekly level. So okay, we're around here. So I said, okay, let's wait for price to come to this weekly level, and then we continued the buy to up to this trend line. That's where I had it. So we had this consolidation. Weekly level means consolidation, so it's actually consolidated for a while. So we had this push up. That was like the 2 moves that I gave for the week, because you know, you don't want to look fine to the markets. But during the week, during trading, I saw it come up to this next weekly level over here, and it consolidated for a while, and then the drop happened back to that weekly level. So that's consolidation, means when price keeps going back and forth in one area. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this like stayed here. So it was time for the buyer to part of that upward to this area here. And then yes, the buy actually went up to, I think we hit 1900. Gold has not touched 1900 since like I think either 2020 or early 2021. So this is like new highs. This is the highest high this year particularly. So if it surpassed, I think the all-time high for gold is around 2000. Yes, this is the all-time high, 2075. 2075. So if it surpasses that area, it start making new highs, and this war can actually push it to make that high, because a lot of people are investing in safe haven assets. And I think I also talked about CHF last week. I didn't trade CHF because yeah, I don't trade CHF, but I checked CHF USD, which I was supposed to check USD CHF instead of CHF JPY, but I went back and I saw that it's still in a range. It's still in a range. Okay, I marked this that I'll be pushing it up here. So one of the reasons why all these pairs can be slow sometimes, but it was around this range over here last week, I think. So pushing up is also a safe haven asset. USD CHF, if you're trading, if you want to trade this actually, because a lot of brokers don't do CHF USD, is USD CHF you would trade, or anything that is pegged against CHF, that is either your card CHF or your AUD CHF or whatever it is, you know that they will be dropping because CHF is going up, and USD CHF did a minor drop around this area, during the week or something. So it's still in a very choppy range, but we'll see. I'm not analyzing it. I'm just like, because it's a safe haven asset. Then JPY. So let's move on to JPY. So last week, where we were last week. So what happened with JPY when the news, remember last week Friday, it was news that pushed it up. So this happened. So now JPY is also a safe haven asset, but like is how do I say now, like 60% safe haven, but it's a safe haven asset. Investors put money in it, they remove their money from different investments and put money in it. So if war is going to happen, JPY is pushing up, right? It pushed up. So I said I was expecting it to come here to retest this area before its ultimate pushback. I'm still watching it. If it still wants to come back down to this area to test it before actually pushing up. But if something causes it to just go up like that, then it keeps going up. And what that means is that if you're trading Euro JPY, USD JPY is tricky because both of them are like almost correlated, but CAD JPY, all of those GBP JPY, it's gonna cause it to drop down because JPY is going up, which is the bias I have for GJ. But now this is what I had for GJ last week. I use the, oh, sorry. Yeah, is that the one? I use JPY as a correlation to the GBP JPY trade. I trade mostly GBP JPY and gold. So because last week we had this ultimate drop around here, I think. Here, is that the, hold on. Let me find the bars pattern I used last week because I really did a lot of trading. Yeah. Okay, but it couldn't have been here though, because it was here. I remember that we were around this area, and I said, okay, if something happens during on Friday, a strong push happens on Friday, just this. you want to wait for that move to finish before you start looking like to finish that move. So if it was selling, it will keep selling on Monday morning or Sunday night. That's Nigerian GMT time. Keep doing that till like it finds like a zone to like stay at, just to just release. You know, if you want to, if a train is moving, a train won't just stop. It would have been alerting, you know, all the radios and everything that it wants to stop. So it will take a while to stop. So GJ dropped to this area, and I did put that bus pattern there for it to drop here, and then we wait for it to retest here. And I mentioned like it could also be in a consolidation and keep retesting this green trend line here. Let me make it visible. Keep retesting this green trend line here, and it did that multiple times. So it's currently inside of a consolidation, and in a range you want to be very careful, but you can still trade it if you know how to use your minor structure in trading. You know how to just trade it, but you have to like really pay attention to it and watch it. So I took a few trades inside of this consolidation, took the buy up, took some sells, and all of that. So, but ultimately, because of the war, I see GJ going down. First of all, you can please mute your mic if you're just joining. Thank you. So I see GJ going down first to this. My purple zone is my daily trend line. So that's the first place I'm seeing it going to before we can like stay, you know, somewhere. But right now it's currently here. Let me put this down here. It's a minor zone though, but it's currently here, and I'm seeing it, before the market closed, it was doing this, so it's probably going to push down. If it breaks that structure, or break this structure, we're probably looking to like sell. But the war, I didn't analyze BTC because I was so excited that it actually played out like to the. It's not like it played out. I knew it was going to play out, but the fact that accurate, it was too accurate, like up then down to that area, you know. And a lot of crypto traders always think, oh, we are bullish now, oh, we are bearish now. Like the chart, technical analysis don't lie, structure does not lie, and there's different things happening right now in the world, so want to be careful with that. And I just looking at this zone might not hold for too long. It might not hold for too long. So I'll look at it very well during the week because I didn't do like a clear analysis, but you know, might drop and touch this 38,000 or so. Let's wait and see what BTC does. I'll check it during the week, and hopefully I'll have time to like share it with you guys. I know I was quiet this week, but yeah, I'll try and be more social. So if you have questions, you can ask like after. So we're looking at US 30 next. US 30. So how the war is going to affect you know, everything. US 30 is gonna drop. Or it has started dropping because, you know, people are investing in companies. US 30 top companies, and you know, investors are removing their money and all of that. So I won't be doing any buying on US 30. If you're buying, you are trading with caution. You can actually buy in some cases, but like it's mostly dropping up. My first place that I'm looking at is this monthly level over here, and if it drops to this monthly level over, it's probably going to consolidate. We'll see, we'll watch what it does, but that's what I'm looking at for US 30. I don't trade US 30 yet, but I will. I analyze it, I look at it, because you know it's a top pair to trade. So yeah, that's it for the week. But US 30, you first want to wait. I'm looking at it. So okay, let me go over how we got here in US 30 last week. Correct. So I don't just leave US 30 like that in case you are trading it. So this is 4 hours. We're around here last week. I already deleted the fib. I think we were around here last week. That was on the 11th. Here. Okay. So here also it dropped on that Friday when the news came out. So that's how US 30 would react to the war. It's gonna drop. When you see it dropping like crazy, probably can do over like 5,000 pips in a day, depending on the broker you are using. Like it will drop heavy. So I did like analyze it during the week inside this consolidation here. Let me drop some now so it's more visible. So inside this consolidation, everything it pushed up, then it came down to sell. So it's currently in like a range but it's still descending down, it's still going down. So we were around here last week and I did mention like, okay, it might push up to this area, but let it finish this sell that it's doing here, which is what it did, and we are in a weekly area where we would have a lot of consolidation. So the consolidation is still going on for US 30, and I actually, before it to get here, it might take like a great news. So it's coming down because of the war that's happening. So the first place I want to watch is here, and it doesn't mean like you buy immediately. You just watch what it does around here. It's going to consolidate. So this is where I'm watching it to go. I don't want to find the best pattern for it right now. And yeah, the dollar index, which is, yeah, I remember during this in one of the analysis sessions that we are looking at USD to go here. The first week it did, then last week we had it here. So let me delete this. So the dollar is the world reserve currency, actually. It's one of the strongest currencies in the world. So it's the world reserve currency. So it's going to likely to push up because even Nigerians are saving in dollars. A lot of investors will be looking at removing their money and leaving it in dollars and all of that. So they'll be buying. People are doing a lot of buying, and USD is one of the most used currencies. So we're watching it to get here first, coming to this green zone over here. This is a 4-hour zone, resistance zone. Watching it to come over here first. But first of all, wait for a minor pullback because we have this. Hold on. Oh, sorry. Can you ask your question? You can unmute yourself and ask your question, actually. I don't understand what you mean in the chat.
Hello. Okay, I was asking when you were still on the US 30 charts, if you saw the sales, the downtrend happening on the lower time frame.
Okay, is it the past one or the one that is about to happen?
Yes, the one that is about to happen.
Oh, okay. Because of how this closed and this long week over here, I'm watching to see if it actually breaks this structure, because it's actually in a downtrend. The sell is in a I want to say the sell is in a downtrend, which is like the same thing. But like yeah, if it comes to this trend line, it's actually selling. If I'm going to buy this now, because I have this trend line here, this blue trend line, which is a 1-hour trend line that I took here, I'm watching for it to come here before actually selling down to that monthly zone. But if I'm going to do that, I'll watch for this one that I just put here, this minor structure, to break and retest, then take that by here. Then before selling, I wouldn't, because of this like weak exhaustion over here, I wouldn't just place a sell, except like this weekend because of the news. Now we have to be really, really careful because of like there might be breaking news or something like that because of the war that is happening. Like just saying, what if on Sunday night Russia decides to throw bomb? You know, it might, you know, just cause it to gap down and just immediately the price is opening. But normal behavior, it should like come up here. And if this breaks and retests, we'll take it up here and then sell from here. I will not, if I'm trading this, I will not be buying it. I will wait for the sell because the momentum is actually towards the sell. Because I'll be watching gold also. Is that okay? Okay. Are you good, Diana? Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I was talking about DXY. So yes, perfect. So if this consolidates here for a bit, we're looking to take it up here to this second take profit over here, which is relating with that zone there. That's for DXY. And what does that mean? For Euro USD, EU is going down also because Ukraine, European, yeah, so it's going down. Even started its downward move. Sorry. So remember last, I didn't really analyze Euro USD last week, but we did have it in a sell coming down and then it touched here. I just actually put this trend line here this night. So I took this from here because it made this. So if this breaks, if it does a complete break, we wait for a retest to buy. Sorry, to sell. To sell. That's something like that. That's what I mean. Something like that. To this next zone, ultimately to this daily zone over here. But first of all here, because yes, and Euro has news coming up on Monday. I'll go through all the high impact news that are coming up this week for you guys. Let me just get through Euro USD and Euro JPY. So I want to add JPY to the list of my actively trading pairs. So I want to start like the analysis and mark up the chart and all of that. But oops. But you know, it's a Euro pair. It's pegged against JPY. You know, it's going down. But you know, to get the good entries, I have to like do all my entire markup. So yeah. So for the week, we have the Euro news on Monday, which is the producers manufacturer index on Monday. Germany is one of the most important nations that when their news comes out, it affects like the euro. So on Monday we have that. Then if you trade NZD, New Zealand dollar, they have their interest rates announcement on Tuesday, which is usually always volatile. You want to check what they say about their interest rates, if they are raising the interest rates or cutting the interest rate, which the entire world now is like there's high inflation everywhere. So people are looking towards to like raise interest rates. If that's what people are expecting, especially with USD. But I don't know what's going on with the NZD economy because I don't trade NZD. GBP on Tuesday, we have the monetary policy meeting. So they are having meetings to, you know, just check all the inflation data, the GDP of the country. They're just checking different data to help them take their decision if they will raise interest rates or not in the coming future. So for US on Thursday, we have the GDP, quarterly GDP data that is coming out. then crude oil inventories and all of that, jobless claims. So high impact news for USD on Thursday. Yes, then quickly let me check US oil, because that also gets affected with the oil, with the war. It gets affected with the war, and you know, it also spiked up because it's a commodity. Gold is also a commodity, so commodities will always go up higher. So ultimately, I'm actually expecting US oil to come over to like the hundreds. Just checking. And if you trade the Canadian dollar and everything, it's actually correlated with oil. So you want to check if oil is going up, then CAD too should be going up. But although Canada is having issues with their citizens wanting to freeze accounts and all of that, not sure if that would directly affect the market, but yeah.
Okay.
So do you have any questions before we leave for today? I'll post this video on YouTube. So it should be up by tomorrow. And any follow-up during the week, I'll send it. So let's see how the market opens on Monday. So you guys should catch these pips, I'll especially send BTC to you guys. You know, still going, I believe it's gonna go down more. But yeah, this was perfect. Gold was perfect, GJ was perfect. Yeah. So without any questions, do you have any questions? No? Okay. All right, you guys should have a great week full of peeps, and I'll see you next week. Take care of yourself. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome.